To be here and cheer me on. Checks are in the mail. I write steamy sports romance. I have been writing and publishing. I've been writing my whole life, but I've been publishing since 2019 after my first 20Books conference in Edinburgh. And you've probably all heard about it because it was the best conference. Sorry. I made every mistake in the book at the start. I have about 12 books in my backlist that don't make me any money because I did everything wrong. But in the last year and a half, I've started to do some things right. And one of those things is building a team around me of people that have helped bring me to where I am now. So I'm going to talk about ARC teams, what they are, how to make them, how to manage them. And recently I've started to hire, you're okay? It's not working. Nope, not working. Recently I have hired a team of PAs to work for me, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a while. Can you hear me at the back? Okay. But what is an ARC reader as opposed to like an alpha reader or a beta reader? An ARC reader is a reader who gets an advanced copy of your book in an exchange for reviews. As opposed to an alpha reader or a beta reader who gets like a messier draft and who can help craft the story, an ARC reader is essentially a rabid fan of yours who wants to read an advanced copy and who wants to gush about it on the internet. So I know a lot of people, including Craig, don't use ARC readers, but I truly believe that an ARC team is an author's most underutilized marketing tool. I really believe that even though we're giving away copies to people, they have the capacity to generate buzz and income about your books. And you don't need to have a huge team, but you have to have a good team. And that is hopefully what I'm going to explain today, is how to find those people. Why should you have an ARC team? I don't really believe in a scarcity mindset when it comes to authoring. If I had 5,000, 10,000 people on my ARC team, I would send out 10,000 free copies of my book because I believe those 10,000 people could help me generate me any amount of new readers. It all comes back to the 7 touch points. You want people to keep seeing your book and seeing your book, and the way to do that is to get your book in front of them, and you can't do that all by yourself. We have advertising. It costs money, and I did not have money, especially after my first few series did not go well for me. So this is free advertising and marketing, essentially, from this team of people that I've put together who are obsessed with what I write. So as an author, we are always taught you need to align yourself with other authors who have similar styles of writing, who write in the same person, who have the same covers, who write the same subgenres for your Amazon also bots. But I also firmly believe that you need to align yourself with the right readers who are rabid fans of what you have to give them so that they will help carry the load of your advertising and marketing going forward. Why did they join? I actually had somebody ask this a while ago. She was like, well, what do I get out of this if I join your team? And I was like, well, you get a free advanced copy of my book that's not available on the internet. And she went, well, that doesn't work for me. And I'm like, well, you don't work for my team then. It's that simple. I'm not going to incentivize other than you get a copy of my book, you read it, you like it or don't, you review it, you put your review up, and that's it. I don't incentivize anything beyond that. I'm not going to like rub their feet or whatever they want. I'm not going to bow down, and I'm not going to do that. You either want my book or you don't, and if you don't, then it's not a good fit. You need to find the readers that are a good fit for what you have to offer. Also, a lot of my ARC team might not be able to afford to buy my books. Even Kindle, so I'm a Kindle Unlimited author, and a lot of them might not be able to afford a Kindle Unlimited subscription. But those, it's not even the reviews for me, it's the shares on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. It's the word of mouth, talking to their friends in the book community. So it's not necessarily the 5-star reviews or the 4-star reviews that are worth it for me. I mean, I love that. we all love that, the advanced reviews of our books. But for me, it is the sharing power of somebody who falls in love with what you write. That is where the money shot is for me when it comes to ARC readers. So yes, there are going to be freebie seekers, but some of those freebie seekers really obsess about what you have to give, and that incentivizes them to then share it with other people. And that is where the difference comes from just sending your book out to free people, right? So you can do things like Booksprout, and you have random strangers download your book, but I am a firm believer of cultivating a core group of people who are going to scream about your book on release day. Where to find them? So like I said, you can get them in Booksprout, and there are other ARC services out there. My method is time consuming, and I have started to farm this out to one of my new PAs. I go to, like, say Instagram. I will type in the search bar, #HockeyRomance, and hit enter. And then I will scroll through every single hockey romance tagged post from people in Instagram, and I will go to their profile, and I will look at their followers, I will look at their posts, their engagement, how often they post, and if I think it's a good fit for me, I will DM them. And I can feel the anxiety lift in this room. I understand that I am a highly social person, and if you do the Clifton Strengths, I am a woo, I am a high communicator, I am a people person. I have no problem walking up to strangers and saying, "Hi, you're my new best friend," which I have done to most of the people in this front line. Like, "Hi, I'm Lasairiona, I'm a people person, I'm a golden retriever, and you're my new best friend." And then they can't leave. So I get that this is scary for a lot of people who are not as extroverted as me, but I can also promise you that it is worth both the legwork and overcoming that fear to do the scary thing. So I will message them, and instead of just having like a carbon copy, "Hi, do you want a free book? Do you want to join my ARC team?" I will engage them about their Instagram wall, or if it's on TikTok. So I do the same thing on TikTok. I will search for hockey romance or a comp author hashtag, like L. Kennedy, for example, for hockey romance. And I'll say, "Hey, Sarah, I saw on your Instagram that you are a reader of L. Kennedy," or any other of the people like Jacob Chance, Melissa Ivers. "I saw that you promoted their release. I can see you love hockey romance." And if they have a bio, and sometimes they'll have other details about themselves on the bio, like, "Hi, I'm left-handed, I have 3 dogs, and sometimes they'll have Enneagram or their star sign, or, authors they love, and I'll go, "Hi, I wear odd socks too, and, I was born in February, and I write books, and they're hockey romance, and they match everything that's on your grid, and I was wondering if you were interested in reading an advanced copy of my book in exchange for a review, and if you like it, I'm trying to grow my ARC team to get my word out about my work. If this is something that would interest you, let me know. If not, no harm, no foul." And I also add a little paragraph that says, if you read the book and you don't like it, I'm not going to get butthurt about that, because not everybody likes every book, right? There are people out there who might love hockey romance that might hate my books. So if that happens, it's all good. No harm, no foul. We'll just part ways, and that's okay. So I send this out, and I try to do it in batches of like a dozen, because it is time consuming, scrolling through, and it is a lot of time to take away from time which you could be writing. And it is, if you have PAs, it's also an easy thing to pass off to them, because it's simple, searching for a hashtag, taking down names of the people you've contacted, sending out a message to say, "Hi, would you be interested in doing this?" So it is something that I put value on for my first couple of months, but it is now something that I have given out to one of my PAs. The response is almost overwhelmingly positive. The biggest problem I have run into is that a lot of ARC readers are saturated right now, so they'll say, "I don't have time right now, but maybe for your next release, I will find time, come back and talk to me." And I would recommend you get their email address or something and set an alert to remind yourself to go back to these people, because they really might be interested. They might just not have time. They have kids, they have husbands, they have jobs, they have lives, they have a TBR list that's going to outlive them. They might just need a timeout. And we've all just had 2 years of very low spoons and low energy, so a lot of people just aren't reading right now. So take their information, leave it a while, say, would it be good if I come back in about 3 or 6 months? And they will usually say, give me 12 weeks, and then come back in 12 weeks. So write that into your calendar and be sure to follow up, because you might have somebody there who is interested, just not right now. So how they join my team, I have a Google form, and there are questions in it like, what is your name? What is your email address? Like, do you ARC for other authors? Do you agree not to plagiarize this or put it on piracy sites? Do you agree to review? I also have a new stipulation on my form to say that if you want to rate my book 3 stars or less, to come talk to me and hold off on reviewing that until at least a week after release day. Because I have had a couple of releases where I've had 3 stars and 2 stars, and they're the only reviews that have been up, and it doesn't look great on a new book. And for the most part, ARC readers understand that. A lot of authors have that stipulation that if you have 3 or less, you will hold off on your review until after, so most people aren't surprised when you request that from them. So you want your book to look great on release, so you want the 4s and 5s. I don't mind the low reviews. If someone wants to give my book a 2, that's fine. It doesn't look great, but it also doesn't look like you fronted all of your reviews with these fantastic reviews, right? They balance out the good ones, and they can warn people who shouldn't be picking up your book anyway the reasons why they shouldn't pick up your book. Because you want the right people to pick up your book. You don't want everybody to pick up your book. So these lower reviews might have pertinent information for the people you want to keep away from adding to those low reviews, right? So like I said, I used to manage it by myself. I have moved it into a VA territory now, but I also have a Facebook group specifically dedicated to my ARC team, and I have an ARC team mailing list that I will also communicate through like a mini newsletter almost. So today, for example, I messaged my ARC team in my reader group, and I gave some promotional images because I have a sale running between now and the 20th. And I said, hey guys, you all know where I am and what I'm doing at this conference. I have a sale running for the next few days. I've got a book bub tomorrow, and I'm hoping to lift the ratings or the rankings tomorrow, but I would really like it if you guys would help me get the word out today. So I posted that in the group with about 12 promotional images that another one of my VAs made, and I sent an email to them about an hour later with the exact same information in case they didn't get it on Facebook. And I did use that @everyone tag that makes me cringe, but in this instance, they're my ARC team. They really want to know what I have to say, so they don't mind the @everyone tag. And as of the start of this presentation, my book is at number 250 in the US and the UK free chart. And I have not done much myself. That was all my ARC team. So that just shows the power of having a strong team who are in your corner, right? I don't pay these people. All I do is give them an ebook copy. Some of them, since I came here, I sent out like postcards and swag and bookmarks and things I can't send from the UK because the shipping is crazy. I might send some pins or stickers, or the only other thing I do with my ARC team is sometimes I will tease them with snippets from whatever I'm working on that don't go into my reader group, so they feel like they are in the know, right? And sometimes they will then rave about the book before it's even out there. So I get some pre-orders from that. So they'll be like, this author put this up today about like a teaser or her cover, and I can't wait to read this book. And then they will tell other people even long before the book goes out. Basically, you are cultivating your squad, right? These people want to see you win. a lot of them know how hard it is for indie authors to get seen in our market, and they will scream out loud for them. So tomorrow, one of my ARC team is flying into Vegas just to say hi. Her and her husband have a timeshare here, and she convinced him to come right now because I was in town, and she wanted to see me. And that is huge for me, that somebody is taking that time and spending that money to come and see me. But a while back, she messaged me earlier this year, and she said, look, life has happened, and I need to step down from your ARC team. And I said, Pam, I'm sorry, but I don't accept that. I said, you've been on my ARC team from day one. I'm not going to kick you off just because you've had a hard time. Take the time, come back in 6 months, whenever you need, whenever you feel ready. You can read my backlist. I'm not going to kick you off for not reviewing. She had a moment of crying, and she was like, this is amazing, thank you very much. You need to treat these people like you would treat your friends, right? You wouldn't kick your friend out of your circle if she needs to drop for a couple of months because she's having stuff going on in her life. Your ARC team should be treated the same way. These guys are people too, and if they're not reading you, they're reading someone else. If they're not promoting you, they're promoting someone else. So you need to treat them with kindness. Good communication is the main thing, I would say. So I do email them and I say, look, if you don't like this book, let me know. And then there are some books that I write that are slightly different to the previous book, so I will warn them. I will send them a message and I'll say, look, this book has themes that are different to what I normally write. If you need to skip this book, if this is not your jam, I'm not going to kick you off. I'm not going to hold it against you. It's not going to count in a negative column. Not every book is for every reader, even if it's on your ARC team. And I know Melanie Harlow yesterday said about writing cake and giving cake and delivering cake, but sometimes I like to push those boundaries a little bit within the boundaries of what I know my readers will read, but not all of my readers will read all of my books. And you need to communicate that with them. Tell them what's coming up, because a lot of readers don't like to be blindsided. And as long as they know what's coming, they can pivot around that, and they will appreciate the open communication. So some days I will say, look, I'm having a really bad day. I'm having a bad mental health day. I don't want to write. Or I've had a bad royalties day or a bad royalties month. Things are not going the way I had planned this month. Could somebody give me a shout out on their TikTok or on their Instagram for a book that might have been out 6 months, a year, last month? It doesn't matter. They will just pimp me out, and they're like, hey, somebody read this book. So these people have your back on the days when you feel really low and really bad. They are your cheer squad, right? They want you to succeed, even on those bad days. And again, I can feel the anxiety, and people say, I don't like to talk when I have my bad days, but I had a bad morning this morning, and I talked to my tribe, and they rallied around me, and they picked me up, and that's what they're for. And your ARC team does the exact same thing. If you cultivate it right, if you're honest with them, if you deliver on your promises to them, they will reciprocate, and they will help you succeed in what you were trying to accomplish. No family and friends. And not just because your family and friends are going to be like, this is the best book you've ever written. I'm so proud of you. Whoa. I can see. No family and friends, because the likelihood of their reviews staying up is low. Amazon has a fangled way of getting to know your connections, and they will pull down reviews for people who are connected to you. So no family and friends reviews. No pay to play. So I don't pay them. Amazon has a really strict policy about who can review your books. A lot of my reviews do say I received an ARC. And so far, so good. But I know a lot of people who will ask their ARC teams to not write, I have received an ARC in exchange for this review, because Amazon doesn't tend to like incentivizing reviews for things. The other thing I wanted to talk about was my PA team. So I know a lot of people, a lot of authors gravitate to one PA. And as a high strategy person, the idea of handing over that much of my business to one person made me cringe. So I decided to break it up into separate pieces and hire a different person for each section. So if somebody quit or got sick, one piece of my business reverted back to me instead of the whole lot. So I could still do my writing, my advertising, and my marketing, and without having to do all of the pieces that I had given to the PA person, right? So I have one person who manages my ARC team. She's my ARC coordinator. So she scrolls through the social media. She finds me new people to add. She sends out my ARCs. She requests the reviews, the links from people. She puts it together in a spreadsheet. She makes sure people have reviewed 2 out of 3 of my last books. That's my stipulation. You have to review 2 out of 3 of my last books to remain active on my team. If I'm particularly snowed under, she will do things like engagement posts in my reader group. My second person is my graphics person. I like to say that I'm graphic challenged because even with Canva and BookBrush and all those easy things, it is not my jam. It is not my strength. And I hire a girl to do that for me. So she will make my graphics and she will post on my Instagram and my Facebook author page 3 or 4 times a week for me. But if I have a sale or if I have teasers and a book coming out, she will make my graphics for me and she will schedule them for me on my platforms. I've recently, as of last week, hired a person to manage my TikTok. It is in the early stages. It's a trial and error. She's posting 3 times a day for a month, and we're going to see how that works. Because for me, TikTok is a bottomless hole of draining of energy, right? You go and you're like, okay, 10 minutes, I'm going to make 3 videos, I'm going to post one, and then 4 hours later, you're looking at cats, right? It happens. And I know I'm not the only one. I can see y'all going, mm-hmm. It just does. So I'm paying someone else to do the videos and to upload them so I don't lose time by going into TikTok, right? The third person, we are still kind of working, or the fourth person, we are still kind of working on her job description, but she posts engagement posts in my reader group. She is doing my timelines from my books, so she is an alpha reader. She's gonna do my character sheets, like what color was his eyes? You're on chapter 22 writing and you've still forgotten what color his eyes are. So she takes notes for my characters. She also researches my comps on Amazon. So we have a spreadsheet, and whenever one of my comps releases a book, she takes the name, the ASIN, the series title, and she makes a note of the person's next release. So we have our keyword targeting for our ads. We have our, she pulls the covers so we can keep an eye on whether the covers are changing or not. So she's like my marketing research PA, right? She helps me with that, the time-consuming stuff that we all need to do to make sure that we still have a pulse on our subgenres, right? And I will admit the teething problems from having a team versus one person was probably a lot, and it has taken time to find our groove and to find a way to communicate with each of them that works, because not everybody learns the same way and not everybody does things the same way. But it has given me more stability and less responsibility, and it means that there isn't one other person out there with a huge chunk of my business that they are managing that I have no clue about. And like I said with your ARC team, communication is paramount, right? I talk to these girls every single day while I'm here. Like the ARC post I posted earlier, I just posted the graphics, but I didn't post links. And one of them was like, hey, I've got the links, don't worry about it. And they just communicate with each other when I'm not there. My goal for this is, and I'm putting this out here so my people will make me do this, follow through. I want this team to be so good that I can take a 2-week vacation. I want to take a vacation. There, I've said it out loud. For 2 weeks, right? And I'm hoping, manifesting, it'll be in 2024. No, I'm hoping for 2023 because these people push me a little harder. And I think I can do it after. And they've only been working with me for a couple of months. And I think I pay each of them between $100 and $150 a month, but that buys me the time and the energy pennies I need to create the product, right? Their services are that valuable to me. One charges $75. So, and I found them through, again, 2 of them are ARC readers / beta readers. One of them came recommended through an author friend. So they aren't just random people I pick, they're invested in me. And I have told them, so one of my 5-year goals is to open a small press. And I told them in the beginning, whenever I approached them about working for me, I was like, this is my big picture goal. If you are not in it for the long haul, we might not be a good fit together. But because they are so invested in every single word I write, like since I've been here, they're like, we are jonesing for your chapters from your next book. Can you go back to writing, please? These people really want you to succeed, and they are only too happy to help you. And I know asking for help and accepting help is really hard for people, including myself. And I am quite a control freak. I like having control of things. So this has been a huge test of myself this year, but it is paying off. And my business is stronger for it. So it's something to think about. I know most people just go to one person and they stick with one person. But if you are a control freak, I have a friend, Tracy, I'm talking about you in case you're not, unsure. She has done the same, and she has started to do little changes. So she does not like people. She's an introvert. She has started to do the TikTok thing and the Instagram thing, and she's reaching out to maybe 5 people. Set yourself a target. If you are severely anxious about talking to new people, set yourself a goal. By the end of the year, I will talk to 5 people or readers in my genre from Instagram before 2023. 5 is not that scary. If 5 is that scary, do 1. I will talk to 1 person. And that 1 person might be your superfan. They might end up going back and reading your entire backlist. They might push your entire backlist to their thousands or hundreds or tens of fans. You don't know until you ask. And I know that really is scary for people. It's not scary for me because the worst someone can say to me is no. But for some people, that no is a big, big challenge to overcome, and I would encourage you to really try. I am going to stop now and take about 17 minutes worth of questions if there are any. If not, we can all go get drunk.
Hi, I'm Laura. It's been really interesting. I have 2 questions.
I might have answers.
All right, we'll see. So I'm building my first series. The first book came out in March. The second one's coming out in December. Can I offer, I like your method of trying to find ARC readers with the hashtags of genre. So if I find prospective ARC readers, can I offer a free copy of book 1 to them? And
If you're not in Kindle Unlimited, you can.
Good, I'm not.
Kindle Unlimited has an exclusivity clause with
Yeah,
your
yeah.
ebook. So if
I'm
you
wide.
are not, so you can say that to them. So sometimes, like right now, my book 1 is free and 2 and 3 are 99 cents. So if I message somebody now, I'll be like, book 1 is free. And if you're not in Kindle Unlimited, 2 and 3 are 99 cents. You can grab them to catch up with the series. I write interconnected standalones. So it's not entirely necessary for them to go back to book 1, although I obviously want them to and become obsessed. And my readers will recommend to anybody new to go back and start at the start to get the context and the relationships of the characters, because the characters are all interconnected and they all appear in each other's books. But that would be a good way if you are not tied to an exclusivity clause that you
I'm
can
not.
just say.
I was wondering how much for the ARC readers, how much of the value is getting it before it's published?
I usually do. So
Can you offer it to them if you find someone who looks like a good fit?
So I've tested this.
Okay.
So for a couple of my early books, I sent my ARC folder. So I send it out all in one go. You join the list, and then at one point in time, I send them all out through BookFunnel.
Okay.
BookFunnel has like a protected way of sending them out. That means that they can't share it with their friends and
Yes.
their family and their neighbors. So for a while, I was sending it out 30 days in advance.
Okay.
That's too long.
Yeah.
By the time your reviews come out, or your book comes out, they've forgotten, they've moved on, they're 45 books into their TBR by that point. It is, no, that did not work. Then I tried 2 weeks, and it was better, but same thing. Their excitement kind of tapered off right before your release. Some authors do 10 days. I go with 7. The last one, I think I went 5, because these people are whale readers, right? They are not waiting for this one book. They have hundreds of books that they read. They are voracious readers. They can easily read your book within 5 to 7 days. And if their reviews don't come out until a few days after, I'm okay with that too. I want to keep the buzz going beyond the release as opposed to in front of.
Okay, thank you so much. One more question. We talked about soliciting ARC readers where they only receive a free copy of the book in exchange for an honest review. But you've also formed some of them into VAs. When do you judge the amount of work where they deserve to be paid for that work? For instance, I have people who always offer to help proofread in addition to posting reviews.
So that was a similar question that I asked Lucy Score at SPF earlier this year. I was like, how did you find your PA? Because they're like a family, right? Lucy and her PAs are like a family. And at what point do you know it's worth your money? And for me, I judged whether they were good, for one. Like if your proofreaders find a lot of issues or typos. So if they read your book and they're like, no, there's nothing, and then reviews say, oh, there was 35 typos in this, you know it's not a good fit. But if they are good at what they do and it buys you time to do the other things and you can afford it, that's my trifecta. Okay. So if they are taking something from my plate, which is always overflowing as a mother, with a child that does 35 after school activities in one day, if anybody can take something off my plate and do it well for a reasonable cost, I'm going to invest in that, because that is an investment in myself and my business, and it helps me be a better author and produce better words because I'm not stressing about all of the other crap you have to do, right? Because we all have a never-ending list of to-do things.
Yeah. You said if they're good, if it saves you time.
And if you can afford it.
And if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, I just had a question.
Yep.
So you have ARC readers that also post on social media. Do you have ARC readers that do one or the other? Like, do you have just a social media team? Do you have just ARC readers? Because I have a lot of sweet little old ladies who want to post reviews, but they're all like, yeah, I don't have social media. And I'm like, okay, just post your review then. So who doesn't have social media?
I have a couple of people who don't have social media, or
Okay.
they have Facebook and they never use it. They
Right.
only use it for like talking to their family or seeing photos of other family members.
Right.
As long as they can post a review on Amazon,
Okay.
because I'm Amazon exclusive right now, and I try to encourage them to do one other place, so Goodreads or
Okay.
BookBub.
Okay.
So, but I'm flexible with my rules, right? Because there are some people who will say, like, I have a couple of people who have been on my ARC team for years and they're really having a hard time and they haven't reviewed 2 out of my last 3, but I will still tell my VA to keep her on the list or
Okay.
them on the list. And there is one lady who can't figure out how to post her review on Amazon. And, you know, it happens.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. I speak Southern, so, you know, bless her heart. But I don't kick her off because the enthusiasm and energy, and when she does figure out how to post, she does scream about my books. So I try to show grace, right? There are things that I can't do that I need other people to help me with. And maybe suggest finding a family member or a friend to help them figure out how to post.
Okay.
But I will be honest, for the most part, in the beginning I was accepting like my readers from my reader group into my ARC team. Now I actively search out influencers.
Okay.
People with a standing, people who know how to share.
The people who already have an established audience for
Yes.
their
Yes, but I
influencers. Okay.
won't be like, I'm not to the point where I want someone with like 10 or 15,000. If someone has 100 or 50 people on their followers list,
Okay.
and they are an active poster, and they have engagement from those 10, because if you have 15,000 followers and only 10 people like your posts,
Yeah.
it's no different from having someone who has 10 followers and all 10 of them like their posts, right? You just want someone who is active at posting on social media, who loves what you write, and who is going to share your stuff. So I don't really care about the audience size. Okay, I want someone with 100,000 followers who's going to post about me every single day. We all do. But don't discount the smaller accounts just because they don't have the same number of followers as other people.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Is there anything from... I did? I'm psychic. Any other questions? We still have 10 minutes. No? Okay. Then we can go get drunk. Thank you, guys.